Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Monday at noon and is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Thursday at noon, 3 and 6. Today is November 27th, 2017, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Durango Herald, police are searching for a man suspected of robbing Conoco early Wednesday in Durango. The robbery occurred at about 1:10 a.m. at 901 Camino del Rio, said Commander Rita Warfield with the Durango Police Department. A gas station clerk said a man entered the store wearing sunglasses, a gray or black hoodie, and a red bandana covering his face. He was described as 5 feet 10 inches tall to 6 feet tall. He kept one hand in a pocket as if he had a gun, Warfield said. It was unknown if the man actually had a gun. He then demanded money. He was nervous and he just asked for the money from the register, Warfield said. After receiving money, the man left on foot heading north and possibly west toward the back of the gas station where the Animas River flows. Police responded but were unable to locate a suspect. A surveillance video is under review as part of the investigation. It is the second armed robbery in about a month in Durango. A Subway sandwich shop was robbed October 19th at 1534 Florida Road near Bread Bakery and Star Liquors in northeast Durango. No arrests have been made. Anyone with information about either robbery is asked to call dispatch at 385-2900 or the Durango Police Department Investigation Bureau at 375-4730.
From the Durango Herald, a truck driver from Lamar who was convicted for the 1988 murder of a Pagosa Springs woman and sentenced to 46 years in prison was granted a retrial by a state appeals court last Wednesday. Colorado State Court of Appeals said evidence was used improperly during the 2013 trial for Charles Ray Stain and contributed to substantially influencing the verdict or impairing the fairness of the trial. The appeals court reversed Stain's conviction and set a new trial. In 2012, authorities arrested Stain and charged him with first-degree murder in connection with the then 24-year-old cold case in which Vicki Dexter, then 40, was found dead in a hot spring pool in Pagosa Springs. According to previous reports, authorities had identified Stain as a prime suspect just days after the murder, which occurred during the night of October 14-15, 1988. But at that time, there was not enough evidence to make an arrest. However, advances in forensic testing allowed authorities to resubmit DNA evidence in 2011, which tied Stain to the murder. He was ultimately found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 46 years in prison in January of 2014. It is unclear when Stain, now 62, will stand retrial. According to the Colorado records, Stain remains in Sterling Correctional Facility, about a 2-hour drive northeast of Denver.
According to the Cortez Journal, the State Office of Suicide Prevention has identified La Plata and Montezuma counties as priority areas for comprehensive prevention efforts. The counties will be a part of a collaborative effort between Colorado and national organizations to create a blueprint for preventing suicide here and in other states, said Sarah Brummett, director of the Office of Suicide Prevention. Other Colorado counties that are high priority areas are El Paso, Pueblo, Larimer, and Mesa. Many people tend to think of suicide prevention as intervention with a suicidal person, but the collaboration seeks to create plans to reach people before they are in crisis and after someone has died by suicide. The effort will target veterans not connected to services, older adults, middle-aged men, and youths. The group selected Colorado as a working partner because of the high number of people who die by suicide each year and high suicide rates. The group are also interested because the state has a dedicated Office of Suicide Prevention, a commission focused on the topic in Colorado Crisis Services, which includes a statewide hotline. Some western states with relatively low numbers of people who die by suicide have high rates because they have smaller populations, Brummett said. In 2016, there were 1,156 suicides in Colorado, representing the highest number of suicide deaths ever. according to the Office of Suicide Prevention annual report. Suicide is also the leading cause of death for young people 10 to 24 years old in Colorado. So far this year in La Plata County, there have been 19 suicides. In Montezuma County, 9 people have died by suicide as of mid-November, Coroner George Devers said. The prevention work has yet to receive funding, but meetings are ongoing, Brummett said.
According to the Cortez Journal report, a candidate to lead an agency that oversees public lands totaling 1/8 of the U.S. says environmentalists mischaracterize her as an advocate of signing those landscapes over to state and local governments and private interests, when in fact she has no opinion on the issue. Cheyenne, Wyoming attorney Karen Bud Phelan and others drew dozens of protesters when she addressed a recent land use forum in western Montana. The protesters spoke out against the small but growing movement in the West to wrest control of public lands from federal agencies. A land transfer advocate invited Bud Phelan to the Valley County event November 18th, but her legal work has nothing to do with the topic, Bud Phelan said. It's not an issue that I was just dealing with, but people just assume that, Bud Phelan told the Associated Press in an interview on Monday. Bud Phelan apparently is or has been among those under consideration to direct the U.S. Bureau of Land Management, the Interior Department agency that oversees some 386,000 square miles or 1 million square kilometers of mostly arid land concentrated in a dozen western states. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke interviewed her for the job in March. Interior spokeswoman Heather Swift declined to say whether Bud Phelan was still a candidate or when somebody might be nominated for the director job, which has been vacant since January. Her legal advocacy has laid the groundwork for those who now want the federal government to relinquish public land, according to Greg Zimmerman, deputy director of the Denver-based environmental group Center for Western Priorities. Bud Phelan and her husband Frank Phelan have a firm with 4 other attorneys in a house in downtown Cheyenne. The practice focuses largely on ranchers and property rights, anything from easements to oil and gas leases, and how to comply with government regulations. Bud Phelan declined to, quote, even venture a guess whether wholesale transfers of federal land would help local communities, adding it's also not her area of legal expertise. Bud Phelan's clients in the 1990s included Cliven Bundy, a Nevada rancher on trial for a 2014 confrontation with federal officials over grazing fees. Bud Phelan grew up on a ranch in western Wyoming's Upper Green River Basin, an area known for world-class trout fishing and some of the nation's biggest gas fields, and said she went to law school at the University of Wyoming knowing she would represent ranchers. Today, she said too many government officials have a say in small-scale decisions affecting federal grazing allotments they've never even seen in person.
According to the Cortez Journal, homeless campers living west of Durango have created a governing council and adopted 19 rules for themselves to give order and security to an otherwise disorderly community. Some of these self-imposed rules include hail other campsites before approaching, keep noise levels to a minimum after dusk, donate 2 hours per week to help the camp clean, and use designated locations for bathroom needs, which includes burying waste. Homeless residents have camped west of Durango for several years. The La Plata County Sheriff's Office used to perform sweeps in which deputies would go through campsites and place green tags on tents, giving campers a certain number of days to move or face citations and possibly seizure of their property. This year, the Sheriff's Office took a different tack by allowing campers to stay in exchange for a certain level of self-policing. So far, the experiment appears to be successful with relatively few incidents and more adherence to basic rules, said Sheriff's Deputy Ed Aber, who acts as a liaison to the homeless camp. Aber said Camp Council started with 5 of his own rules, including pick up after yourselves, no criminal activity, don't camp on trailheads, keep campsites small, and don't harass trail users. After that, camp leaders began adding their own rules, including no more than 4 people per campsite, because then it's just a party, as one camp host said. Giving campers a permanent home and creating Camp Council has created a safer environment, Aber said. Homeless residents are more willing to report crimes because they no longer fear retribution for camping illegally. And now let's take a look at the weather.
Let's take a look at the national weather map from NOAA. As the low pressure moves in across the Rockies and Intermountain West, rain and rain-snow mix is in store for most of the western U.S. The snow will occur at the higher elevations dependent on how quickly these nice warmer temperatures drop. In front of that system, it's a high and dry pressure remaining from the deep southwest all across the rest of the states, as a low pressure across the Canadian border in the northeast provides some opportunities for snow. There's also a small rainstorm system possible into Iowa and some activity along the eastern coastline of Florida, as most of that storm system has moved towards Cuba. The regional outlook from the National Weather Service indicates a fast-moving cold front will pass from the west to the east across Utah and Colorado this evening and into Tuesday. Southwest winds will increase substantially ahead of this cold front, bringing breezy conditions to much of the area today. Precipitation is expected to begin this evening, with snow levels dropping from about 9,000 feet to 7,000 feet and potentially lower in spots by Tuesday morning. This system will be fast-moving, so snow amounts are expected to be fairly minimal, in the 2 to 5 inch range about 9,000 feet, and lesser amounts below 9,000 feet. If traveling Monday night through Tuesday morning, be ready for winter driving conditions. A rain-snow mix can be anticipated as low as 6,500 feet Tuesday morning with little or no accumulation. Their hazardous weather warning is in effect, with southwest winds gusting to up to 50 miles an hour expected over the mountains today, with gusts up to 35 miles an hour possible across the valleys. The winds will switch to the northwest tonight as that strong cold front moves through. This front will bring scattered rain and snow showers into the area, with the central and southwest mountains in western Colorado favored to pick up 2 to 6 inches of new snow. The storm system will move out of the region by early Tuesday morning as we then prepare for colder temperatures to prevail. Longer-term regional outlook shows a weak upper-level disturbance will pass over the northern mountains Wednesday night and into Thursday. This will bring a few snow showers to the northern mountains with dry conditions elsewhere. A stronger storm is expected to arrive late in the weekend or early next week, bringing colder weather and a chance for rain and snow. And what does that mean for Dove Creek's own DCTV 5-day outlook? Today, mostly sunny with a high near 61, breezy as they say, with a south-southwest wind 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts as high as 30. Then tonight, scattered rain showers may occur before 1 a.m., then scattered rain and snow showers between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., and then scattered snow showers after 4 a.m. Mostly cloudy with a low around 30. South winds will be 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming north after midnight. The chance of precipitation is 50%. Little or no snow accumulation is expected. Today, mostly sunny with a high near 61, breezy with a south-southwest wind 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts to 30. Tonight's the scattered rain and possible snow in the early morning. And then Tuesday, a 30% chance of snow showers, mainly before 7 a.m., partly sunny, gradually becoming sunny with a high near 52. North winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest in the afternoon. Tuesday night, mostly clear with a low around 30. South-southeast winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, partly sunny to mostly sunny with a high near 53. South wind 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west-northwest in the afternoon. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 25. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny with a high near 50. So you can see this pattern of about 10 degrees cooler than last week's warmer highs. Thursday night, partly cloudy, a low around 26. And Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 52. Friday night, partly cloudy and a low around 29. And headed into the weekend is when that potential for some more precipitation may occur. Right now, though, just showing a 20% chance of rain Saturday with a high near 52 degrees, and Saturday night mostly cloudy with a low around 32. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Durango Herald, a wildfire north of Durango that has burned 60 acres near Electra Lake isn't expected to grow in size, Durango Fire Protection District Fire Marshal Carola Hanks said Sunday. "It's not moving," Hanks said. "We don't expect it to do anything, so we'll just monitor it for a couple of days and see what happens." Around 11:30 a.m. Friday, a wildfire was reported in the 42,000 block of U.S. Highway 550 on the east side of the highway in a grassy field. As of Saturday, the fire had grown to about 60 acres. Hanks said the fire was in a tough spot for ground crews to battle, as it is located in a field surrounded by hills. The land is a mix of private, state, and federal ownership. And because the traditional fire season is over, no helicopters or air support are available to help. Hanks said a few helicopters and air support firefighters not in the vicinity could be called in a worst-case scenario. But this particular fire has not caused the need for that last-ditch option. Instead, local efforts to contain the fire have been successful. Hanks said crews will continue to check the area throughout the week, but she said the fire is expected to die out of its own accord. The cause of the fire is still unknown. Hanks said it's likely the cause of the fire will be released Monday. Permitted open burns are still suspended until Monday morning. Hanks urged caution as conditions will continue to be extremely dry throughout the week in southwest Colorado.
Reported in the Durango Herald, the Durango Area Tourism Office, or DATO, plans to explore increasing the lodger's tax to boost the budget for marketing Durango to tourists and bring more visitors to the city. It's a process that would include conversations with lodgers, the city government, and other groups with a stake in the tourism industry. Ultimately, a tax increase would have to be approved by voters. There is no proposal yet for how much the tax could be increased. In both Cortez and Montezuma County, the lodger's tax is set at 2%, and there are no plans to change it, Cortez Mayor Karen Sheik said. The city's 2% lodger's tax is paid by people staying in hotels and motels. It is the second lowest in the state of Colorado, according to DATO Executive Director Frank Lockwood. The tax generates a little more than $1 million annually, and about 68% of the money is spent by DATO on marketing Durango as a destination. The remaining city money is spent on Durango transit and special events, according to the 2018 city budget. DATO also receives revenue from La Plata County's 1.9% lodger's tax. When it comes to per capita spending, Durango is lagging far behind some regional towns. Annually, Durango spends $62 per person on marketing. Pagosa Springs spends $414 per person, and Telluride Mountain Village spends $2,000 per person. For every dollar spent on tourism marketing, there is an $8 return, he said. It's a great investment. Antonia Clark, owner of Toatin Gallery and chairwoman of the DATO board, said a higher lodger's tax could increase tourism and aid sales tax collections, which have been nearly flat recently. Quote, "I don't think it's because tourists are spending less. I think locals are spending much less," she said. More tourist dollars will help offset some of the spending lost to internet shopping, keep downtown healthy, and help pay for needed infrastructure improvements around town, Clark said. In addition to helping offset the need for higher taxes that local residents would pay, more tourists will help boost business, and she thinks that's key for residents. It's going to put more money in their pockets because their businesses are going to do better, she said. Clark would expect most of the increase in the lodger's tax to support marketing and some to directly support city services.
According to the Durango Herald, volunteers from San Juan Mountains Association and San Juan's Hot Shots unloaded a haul of 640 trees Monday at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad parking lot to prepare for the 5th annual SJMA Christmas Tree fundraiser. The tree sale began Friday and will continue through December 20th. "We put up some banners outside the tree lot each year," Sherry Libby of SJMA said. "We just hope people think that's where I should get a Christmas tree this year when they see them. People searching for Christmas trees this season are encouraged to check out the selection in the tree lot. This year, the sale is stocked with 540 balsam and Fraser fir trees that were delivered from Silent Night Evergreen's tree lot near Madison, Wisconsin. An additional 100 white fir trees were cut down from the Beaver Meadows area in the San Juan National Forest. A permit from the Forest Service allowed crews to remove the trees from areas that needed to be thinned for numerous reasons, to help with conservation and preserve the health of the forest, said Frank Vieman, SJMA vice president. The farmed trees from Wisconsin range from 4 to 10 feet in height, while the local white fir range from 6 to 16 feet, Vieman said. The larger local trees from the San Juan National Forest will provide a wider selection for businesses, community celebrations, outdoor holiday events, and people with vaulted ceilings. Christmas trees range in price from $38 to $130 based on height and will be for sale from noon to 6 p.m. Sunday through Friday and from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays. The Christmas tree lot, a space that's donated each year by Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad owner Al Harper, is on the corner of Camino del Rio and College Drive in the railroad depot parking area. Trees left over after the fundraiser will be given to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Division in Durango to be deposited into area lakes and used as fish habitats.
In hemp happenings, a report from ValeDaily.com. Colorado grows almost 40% of all of the hemp in the country, and more than twice as much as any other state. Not to be confused with its more famous and psychotropic cousin, marijuana, hemp is used for items ranging from medication and medical research to textiles. Advocacy group Vote Hemp's 2017 Hemp Crop Report says hemp cultivation more than doubled this year, from 9,770 acres nationwide in 2016 to 23,346 acres this year. Colorado's hemp acreage is up from 5,921 last year to 9,000 this year. Scott Hunn owns and runs Hunn Planning and Policy and is not surprised. He said it is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's the non-THC derived products that are leading the growth. This is a report out of Eagle County, which, like most places, does not heavily regulate hemp production. It's treated as an agricultural product, and it is not regulated nearly as heavily as recreational or medical marijuana cultivation. The medical and recreational marijuana business is really hard. It's tough. The margins are razor thin, and the regulations change, Hunn said. After Colorado, Kentucky is second in hemp production with 3,100 acres, Oregon with 3,469 acres, North Dakota and New York with 2,000 acres each. 36 states have removed barriers to hemp production and categorized industrial hemp as an agricultural crop. Hemp's THC levels are capped at 0.3% in keeping with the federal 2014 Farm Bill. Marijuana flowers often contain 15% THC or more. The North American Industrial Hemp Council claims that hemp can be used to make up to 25,000 products. Vote Hemp's 2017 U.S. Hemp Crop Report says that 32 universities conducted hemp research this year and that 1,456 state hemp licenses were issued to researchers and cultivators. Forbes magazine cites a report by Brightfield Group projecting that hemp-derived cannabidiol, or CBD, will be a billion-dollar market in just 3 years. Brightfield estimates that CBD sales topped $170 million in 2016. We'll continue to update you on the status of a hemp processing facility possibly opening at the business park here in Dove Creek.
Reported by the Durango Herald, the deaths of at least 4 fraternity pledges this year have helped fuel a re-examination of Greek life at U.S. colleges, which have long struggled with how to crack down on hazing, alcohol abuse, and other unwelcome aspects without disbanding organizations that have loyal members and alumni. Changing attitudes, increased public scrutiny, and fears of facing lawsuits also have caused schools to take action, anti-hazing advocates say. 4 universities have suspended fraternity activities on their campuses within the past 2 weeks. Florida State suspended 55 fraternities and sororities following a pledge's suspected alcohol-related death. Texas State did the same when a student died following an initiation ritual. Events also were temporarily halted for many fraternities at Ohio State University and the University of Michigan, which emphasizes student safety as a priority as they investigate allegations of misconduct. They join a growing list of schools hitting pause on the organizations over concerns about misbehavior. 26 people are charged in the Penn State case over the February death of Tim Piazza, a 19-year-old student from New Jersey. Investigators said security camera footage from a fraternity house showed he was given 18 drinks within 90 minutes. At Louisiana State, 10 people were arrested on misdemeanor hazing charges in the alcohol-related death of 18-year-old Maxwell Groover, and 1 suspect also was charged with felony negligent homicide. The U.S. has had at least 1 college hazing death each year since 1961, but the publicity of those cases has changed dramatically. Fraternities say that they've long worked to tackle issues such as hazing and alcohol abuse in policy and practice, and that efforts made to hold individuals and chapters accountable are a sign of that.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. November 28th is the Dolores Community Holiday Kickoff Social, hosted by the Rotary Club of Dolores and the Dolores Chamber of Commerce. Come out for a relaxed and festive evening to support the Rotary Club of Dolores Holiday Lighting Fund. There'll be hors d'oeuvres, dinner, desserts, cash bar, a dessert auction, and fun social time for the community. It's $10 for adults, $5 for students, and 5 and under are free. Support the organization that supports the community. It's hosted at the Dolores Community Center from 6 to 10 p.m. December 2nd, hosted by the Cortez Public Library, a Christmas Carol at the Sunflower Theater from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Ticket information is online at sunflowertheater.org, and it's performed by the Hampstead Stage Company. Charles Dickens' timeless story has a universal message about the true spirit of the holiday season and the importance of friends and family. The library will be collecting donations of disposable diapers for the Pinion Project, which will benefit the families they serve. For more details, call them at 970-565-8117. The play is early enough to catch the 28th Annual Parade of Lights at 6 p.m. on Main Street in Cortez. December 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. in Dove Creek, it's Rock the Holidays, a free event. Come on out to see Santa, get a free picture and gift. Bring him your letters too. There will be hot chocolate and s'mores, Christmas carols by Kelly Turner, and hats and gloves. Brought to you by Reaching Out to Community and Kids at 128 Highway 491 at the Rock Building, which is actually made of wood. All of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Wednesday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.